We were eager also, Max, obviously, to get an athlete perspective here, and it's an honor to bring in two-time Olympic gold medalist, two-time World Cup champion, Carli Lloyd. Carli, good morning. Thank you for being with us.
No problem. How are you guys?
We're hanging in there. Carli, I want to get your initial reaction to the news that the games are being postponed till 2021.
Obviously, as an athlete, you want to compete. All of my teammates, the rest of the athletes around the world want to compete, but I think this is the right thing to do. I mean, what's going on right now in this moment is unprecedented, and it's bigger than any sport. And I think it was the right decision. I'm glad that it wasn't canceled. So to have it postponed, it's just a little extra training and preparation.
Carli, I'd like to know, first of all, thank you for being on the show. I'd like to know what reticence, what level of annoyance do you guys have in light of the fact that it took them this long to make a decision, considering the fact that pretty much over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, we've all been talked to about the importance of social distancing and what have you. And since they hadn't canceled or suspended the games, ultimately you guys were having to prepare for the Tokyo games, which means that you were probably still training and what have you. What level of communication did you all have with one another? What level of angst or frustration did you have because they took so long to make this decision?
Well, yes, it's obviously been some really tough and challenging times. For my teammates and I, we concluded our She Believes tournament a few weeks ago, and that's when everything was getting surreal in our country. We didn't know what was going to happen. Our NWSL is temporarily on pause at the moment. So we're all kind of in limbo. But what I try to recommend is, there's a lot of things out of our control, and there's a lot going on right now at the present moment. I haven't really spoken to anyone. I've been just taking a break and being home and enjoying the time. I know there's probably a lot that goes into preparing for an Olympics every 4 years, and there's probably 10 times more, preparation to now postpone an Olympics in the near future. So at this present moment, it is what it is. I think all of us athletes can now kind of take a breath and not stress about training and the preparation, and knowing that we have a lot more time, and for everybody's well-being around the country, this is the right call, and I'm glad they made it.
From an athlete's point of view, could you just, obviously, it must be done. So I'm not saying, hey, this is so tough on the athletes, you can't do it. Obviously, it must be done. But from an athlete's point of view, what does it mean in terms of preparation? You just mentioned it's more time. I'm sure certainty in terms of when it's going to be helps. But what does it mean to be gearing up and then have to stop and then do it all again?
Yeah, it's challenging. I think for so many other sports, it's definitely different. There's sort of a timeline where you want to peak at the right moment, and I think there's a lot of athletes who haven't even qualified yet. For men's soccer, the qualification has come to a stop. For us, we just qualified, so I think there's a lot of questions. I would assume that we would still remain qualified and now just have our preparation. But for me personally, I'm excited because it's more opportunity to train, more opportunity to get more fit, more time to prepare. I think for our team, especially with Vlatko and new coaching staff, there wasn't much time to prepare. And now he's going to get more time with us, and we all have kind of gotten a recharge and a break. But I would imagine that this is going to be difficult, and there's going to be some athletes who aren't going to be able to compete with the postponement. But I think it was definitely the right thing to do.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.